Jake the Snake Roberts, childhood and growing up. Jake Roberts was born Aurelian Jake Smith Jr. on May 30, 1955, in Texas. He grew up in a wrestling family, as his father was wrestler and promoter Grizzly Smith. However, Jake's childhood was very difficult and painful. He later spoke openly about growing up in a troubled home and having a strained relationship with his father. Those hardships affected him for many years and contributed to his battles with addiction later in life. When Jake was a kid, he traveled constantly because his father wrestled around the country. He became fascinated with the wrestling business and eventually decided he wanted to follow that same path. How he got into wrestling. Jake first entered wrestling in the mid-1970s. He started by helping around the business, including working as a referee in Louisiana before becoming a full-time wrestler. He trained under his father and veterans like Moose Morowski and Buck Robley, learning the old-school style of storytelling inside the ring. His official wrestling debut came in 1974 to 1975, and he spent years traveling through wrestling territories before becoming famous in the WWF in 1986. There, his calm voice, psychological mind games, his pet python Damien, and his devastating DDT made him one of wrestling's most memorable stars. First opponent. Jake's very first recorded opponents from his earliest territory days are not clearly documented, which is common for wrestlers from the 1970s because many local cards were never properly archived. His early career included wrestling throughout the Southern Territories shortly after his debut in 1974 to 1975. Last opponent. Jake's final match took place in September 2018 for Bad Boys of Wrestling's No Limits event. His final opponent was I Am the Provider, and Jake won the match, ending his in-ring career with a victory. 3 cool Jake Roberts stories. 1. The snake that terrified the Ultimate Warrior. One of the most shocking moments in wrestling happened in 1991 when Jake's Cobra Lucifer bit the arm of the Ultimate Warrior on WWF television. The snake had been devenomed, but the image was so frightening that many fans thought it was real danger. It became one of the most controversial moments of the era. 2. He accidentally created the DDT. Jake's famous finishing move, the DDT, was created by accident. During an early match, he had an opponent in a front facelock and fell backward, driving his opponent's head into the mat. He realized the move looked devastating and made it his trademark. It later became one of the most copied moves in wrestling history. 3. The comeback nobody thought was possible. After years of struggling with alcohol and drugs, Jake's life changed when his former student and friend Diamond Dallas Page invited him to live with him and helped him begin a recovery journey. Jake lost weight, regained his health, returned to the spotlight, and was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2014. His comeback became the subject of the documentary, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Cool fact: Jake Roberts never won a WWF championship, yet many wrestlers consider him one of the greatest minds and greatest talkers in the history of professional wrestling. His psychology influenced stars like The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you got this far, please subscribe.